Welcome to the Moneyball Clinic. I took the top 30 leagues, simulated them in full detail, then smashed it all together to create an aggregated database. Across the next few episodes, I'll be using it to recommend potential signings at the beginning of the game for a variety of different budgets and levels. Big man, little man, cardboard box. It's time to take a look at strikers. 9 players, all available at the beginning of the game, whose performances are much higher than expected for their transfer value. We'll be taking a look at a wide range of profiles, so I'll point out which metrics they excel in, how they can be utilised, and which of the following teams they'd be willing to join. We start with the cheapest on this list, and hardest name to pronounce. Kelvin Yeboah is a 20-year-old giant who came through the ranks at Reading, and is available at the start of the game for around €475,000. The Moneyball approach often favours specialists. Players who excel in one or two areas but deficits elsewhere sees them undervalued. Yeboah definitely fits the bill. In the 80th percentile for headers, 95th for goals. He's slow off the mark, he doesn't have the greatest movement, but when you can bully opposition defenders with your physicality, the rest doesn't really matter. No traits, nothing to note regarding consistency, big matches or adaptability. Yeboah is a blank slate who's young enough to mould to your liking. Now he's not going to win you the league with Real Madrid, but he would be a solid signing for a team in one of those leagues ranked 20th or below in need of a dominant target man. Next up, a wild card. Baris Atik can play anywhere across the front line and is often deployed as a winger. Available for around 1.3 million, the 28-year-old is very much entering his peak. He takes relatively few shots and underperforms his XG, but in the 95th percentile for dribbles and expected assists, Atik is a creator with the ball at his feet. Excellent technique and flair, elite agility, and an aggressive streak is supported by a series of traits that really work to his strengths. He's consistent and loves big matches. I love a winger who can be converted into a link striker role, a false 9, a deep-lying forward. Atik is excellent as a foil, dropping in between the lines to create space for others, and is more than capable of playing for a mid-table team in a top 5 league. If Atik is craft and guile, then Enzo Crivelli is sheer force. The 28-year-old perfectionist starts at Servette and is available for 1.7 million. His 0.85 goals per 90 is the highest on this list, massively outperforming his XG in every season. Crivelli is also an effective presser, setting the tone from the front. Elite strength and balance makes him hard to get off the ball. Aggression, bravery, determination and work rate makes him a constant thorn in opponents' sides. Runs with ball rarely, Crivelli is not interested in that woke nonsense. Adaptable, consistent, and relishes big matches. That's why he's a perfectionist. He is probably a good fit for a Sean Dyche type of team. Maybe not quite at Premier League level, but could lead the line for a good Eredivisie, Liga Portugal, or Admiral Bundesliga side. For an extra 500k, you can pick up Mohamed Badamosi. The 27-year-old Levante striker, who can play in the roles behind at a pinch, is available for 2.2 million. Not as prolific as Crivelli, he generates more XG from fewer shots, evidencing his ability to get into good scoring positions. In the 70th percentile for dribbles and 80th for headers, Baldini is a very rounded striker. A player with a penchant for the unexpected. Baldini's elite flair and tendency to try overhead kicks makes him an exciting player. An exciting player with the perfect trifecta of adaptability, big matches, and consistency. If the main striking archetypes are the big man and the little man, then Baldini is the third type, the middle man, the mortgage broker of the football world, which is a weird way of saying he'd make a very good complete forward. Now, one of the key aspects of Moneyball is finding players undervalued by the market. In football, that often means looking outside of the top leagues, where values are often inflated by reputation, which is what makes Mpeti a really intriguing player. Another 27-year-old, he starts the game at Strasbourg in Ligue 1 and is available for €2.7 million. A positive personality and international experience is a very attractive proposition. Mutiba is a very one-track player, but he does it very well. In the 95th percentile for shots, 85th for goals. He might look less impressive than some of those that have preceded him, but he's doing it in a top 5 league already. His standout attributes are similar to Crivelli, but without the aerial presence, and his traits are indicative of someone who relishes playing at a high tempo. Yet again, a perfect combination of hidden attributes. The very first highlight I watched is a perfect illustration of what he brings to the table. A late equaliser against Lille. Let's rewind this. Here is Mutiba as a lone striker against a back three, marked by Yeboah and with the spare defender on the strong side. He starts his run forward, then checks back to get onto the blind side. Excellent movement. If you're looking for a poacher, Mutiba is your man. A throwback perhaps to the great Italian strikers of the 90s. He's already proven effective in a top 5 league, and that is, most definitely, where he belongs. Next up is Real Zaragoza's Ivan Azon. 20 years old, with a professional personality, he can be yours for just €3 million. In the 90th percentile for goals and 80th for headers, Azon is a good target at the top end of the pitch. His pressing and tackling numbers might be below average, but they're certainly not bad for a player so young. He's brave and works hard, and they're excellent attributes for a player who's going to be putting himself in places where boots fly. And whilst he's not the best decision maker, there's plenty of time for that to improve. Another player who is adaptable and consistent. Azon is not the complete article, and at this stage might be best suited to a team outside the top 5 leagues looking for a box presence. With a little bit of development, however, he should become very good indeed. How about a 25-year-old Spanish international available for $3.4 million? That would be Javi Puado, whose cut-priced fee is a result of Espanyol's relegation from La Liga last season. In the 85th percentile for expected assists and 70th for dribbles, Puado is comfortable as a creator, but is still a significant goal threat, as his 0.55 goals per 90 goes to show. Attribute-wise, his elite off-the-ball stands out in an otherwise well-rounded profile. No traits means you can shape him to your desires. Adaptable and consistent, Puado is yet to reach his peak. A cracking option as an advanced forward who is ready to make the jump up to a higher level. His positional flexibility, able to play as an inside forward or shadow striker, makes him a great option if you need cover in multiple positions. The most high-profile player on this list is Sporting's Palhinha. The 30-year-old is also the most expensive, costing around $10.75 million. As with most, he's an effective goalscorer and in the 99th percentile for shots. This is because he gets into good scoring positions. Where he stands out, however, is the 60th percentile for passes completed and 70th for progressive passes. Palhinha is a player who gets involved in build-up, which is clearly reflected in his traits, a player who likes to drop deep and play long passes. Attribute-wise, he does not have anything that stands out, nor does he have any obvious weaknesses. After the Euros is probably not the best time to advocate for a striker that lies so deep, he's practically drowning. But Palhinha is an excellent option if you're looking for elite link-up play. Just make sure you have runners playing off him. And that brings me to my favourite option, Manuel Lopez. The 22-year-old Palmeiras striker is available for €6 million, and that is a bargain. 95th percentile for goals, 90th for expected assists, and 85th for headers. Lopez is unplayable. His 52% header win rate and 57% shot accuracy is far above the chasing pack. Endrick and Esteval might be getting the headlines, but Lopez is a star in his own right. It's the jumping reach that leaps out at you, and whilst he's not particularly good at long shots, he is another with an all-rounded attribute profile. There are some adaptability concerns, but nothing that can't be fixed by signing another Argentine. My recent Fluminense rebuild means he's not just some abstraction from aggregated data. He was the league's top scorer, finishing moves in a variety of ways, and finished only 0.03 points behind our own Jean Arias for average rating. Look, I'm a sucker for a big man, someone who can hold it up, bring others into play, and then gets into the box and wreaks havoc themselves. Jose Manuel Lopez is my kind of striker, and he's bloody excellent at it. Great age, great price, great player. So there we have it, 9 strikers. Was there anyone in particular who piqued your interest? Or maybe you've come across someone in one of your saves that you'd like to recommend? Let me know in the comments below, and see you next time.